Today's how-to video is brought to you by National Airsoft Shadow Teams, or as they're more commonly known as NAS-T. I guess I can put their logo up here. And down here I'll put their webpage. You can find their Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff off there. Right down there in the description. And you can also find the Facebook for the store that I work at down there too, Master Hobbies. So, one of the guys from the team brought me this gun to upgrade. They wanted a barrel, hop, and tensioner upgrade. So it's a Tippmann M4 carbine. Tippmann's been around maybe 30 years as a paintball company, and part of their company makes industrial sewing machines for leather. So, hey, been around a while, and they've always had good customer service too. Back when I played paintball, they were known for being reliable and, being able to get parts and all that other stuff pretty good, pretty cheap. So, let's look at the gun a little bit, because this is more of a how-to and some review stuff I'll just throw in there. But the gun, if you get one, does not come with a lower rail, doesn't come with the MFT stock. So we'll just concentrate on this, I guess. And it's aluminum, or maybe pot metal, but probably aluminum, as Tippmann's, most of their guns are made out of aluminum. They're paintball guns, and why would they change? And over here, this is non-functional, but no big deal. The charging handle does work. That's your hop-up adjuster right there. You don't see a fake barrel or a mock bolt or anything. That's plastic. Pretty sure it is. Looks it. Could be cast aluminum, but feels pretty plasticky to me. And let's flip this guy around. On this side, you can see the colors for NAS-T are green and black, so he colored in the trades. Bolt release is missing. This gun doesn't have a functional bolt release. So if you want a gun that's more like an AR-15, like if you have a real one and you want to practice with an airsoft gun instead, you're better off getting a different GBBR, as this one is more, it's more paintball inside. It's more 98 custom inside than GBBR or AR looking inside. And so another thing too, this you can go into safe without cocking it, so it's another thing that the other GBBRs and real steel guns you can't do. And there's the grip. We'll get to the grip when I take it off. I can show you a couple things. But let's move the camera in closer, and I can show you some stuff up close and start taking it apart. From the title of this video, it's going to be about putting a new barrel, hop-up, and tensioner nub in. We have a Shapeways flat hop nub here, or flat nub. So it's mainly going to be about that, like I said, and a little bit how-to on maintenance and, pseudo review. So, first things first, let's take the rail apart. It's sort of like a cooking show. I have removed the flash hider and the screws and all that. So it would just be easier and less time consuming. So we have the barrel nut right there. The threading is pretty much standard AR threading. Oh, I thought I left this loose. Damn you, Murphy, and your laws. So I'm going to use the crappy-ish wrench right there. I have a nice Tapco wrench, but with this one it wouldn't kind of span that correctly, so whatever. Let's use the $10 worn-out Airsoft barrel nut wrench. So we're going to unscrew this. This is the Lova barrel nut. So come on. And how this holds on there is different than AEGs and other GBBRs. So let's see if it, yeah, it did fall apart. And to get the Lova index and line up properly, we had to throw some shims on there. Those are available from Mad Bull shims, barrel shims. So we'll just sign those off as well. You can see it has provision so you can put a triangle sight on it. I think these stock have a little gas block there to go with the plastic quad rail. So the barrel retention. You got these two little half moons there. You can see where I stuck myself with the screwdriver earlier in the month, and they just kind of go on there. So you get two of those guys. Let's see, and those hold this ring, this little milled indentation here to the barrel cast, and inside there that holds these guys on so the barrel does not come out. It's different than other airsoft stuff I've seen, so, but kind of weird, but hey, you know, it is what it is. So let's take the barrel out. Oh, you know, this is a good time to point out something about the hop-up. So let's flip this around. Let's cough so you can only hear me cough. Alright, the hop-up. The screw is kind of weird. I didn't really have any Allen wrenches that fit in there. It was kind of, what the hell? So I was like milling around and back, because we used to sell paintball stuff here, and I found an Allen wrench that fit. So this is, I thought this would be 1/8-ish, because I actually used my micrometer on it to see what it was, because I couldn't get an Allen wrench. But it's not. It's slightly smaller. This Allen wrench here is a 7/64, which is a weird size. So if you're looking and you can't figure out what's in there, you don't want to strip this. This is your hop-up adjustment screw. So FYI, 7/64 or somewhere about 1/8 is slightly too big, and the metric equivalent's slightly too big or slightly too small. I don't know. So let's take this out. There's a little pointed adjuster in here. Hopefully this shows a bit. I've got different lighting because, you know, I throw my YouTube money back into the show, even though it's not much YouTube money at all. But hey, you know, if it's like, oh, YouTube gave me $50, I'll buy some lights. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks, viewers, actually, for allowing me to buy stuff. You know, I bought a new camera with 1 year's worth of YouTube money. It's like, oh, cool. You know, such as being a small channel. You know, I appreciate it, but appreciate your views. So this is the hop-up adjuster. You can see it's kind of pointed and threaded right there. And it goes into a, well, looks similar to that, but, you know, I'll take it out so I can show you. So, with the hop-up on, it's almost impossible to pull the inner barrel out because it kind of intrudes a little bit onto the bucking. It's just a little FYI, because you could tear your bucking easily if you don't undo the... you don't have to take it all the way out, but you do have to undo it a good bit. Excuse me. So, taking that out, and now we can take out the barrel, well, the barrels, outer barrel, inner barrel. You can see there's a notch up top, notch on the bottom. One is slimmer and longer, that one's short and squat one fits right there. So, and that is the top. So the long and narrow one goes towards the top, and you know, so you can feel your hop window in there. So let's take this guy off. The stock barrel, because I already upgraded, and I was like, oh, I have to do that video. So, you know, I left what I put in there, the upgrade in there. So this is the stock barrel. It's aluminum. It looks terrible inside. I tried just cleaning it out, and it's like, hey, this thing it's pretty terrible. It's big. I don't know. I don't have a bore micrometer, but I could kind of cheat and use my regular micrometer, which is somewhere over here. That's right, I put it next to me. So let's take a look and see how big that is. Oh, I need a battery in this dim display. So it says 6 at this end. What's it at this end? But it's just, I don't know, maybe it's narrow and it's just not good, or I don't know. It's just the accuracy was like shit with this. So it could have been the rubber, but he's like, hey, let's put in stuff we know that works. And what do we know works? SHS makes decent brass barrels, and they're nice and affordable too. But you know, there's other companies out there. There's ZCI and Mad Bull makes some decent barrels that are aluminum with Teflon coating, and stainless steel barrels, and Prometheus are nice too. I put some Prometheus. Some stock barrels are good too. You know, it's as long as your barrel's nice and straight and nice and smooth inside, you usually don't have an issue with barrels. So, enough barrel talk over. SHS 663 603 internal diameter barrel. And this is the sort of the plastic kind of barrel holder. So we got two parts to that. It has the bottom, and the top has the the little plastic nub that goes on the channel. I believe there's, no, yeah, there is right in there. You can kind of see it. Actually, I probably won't pick it up as I just brought it out of the lights. Shoot. But there's a little line in there that you can see to align it in the top with this line right there, all the bottom with that line. So it can only go on one way. I actually already put the maple leaf bucking in there. I like these. These are they got good seal, and that the flat hop style patch in there is pretty good. I've always had good luck with these for velocity and accuracy wise, especially after you break them in. You shoot about 1,000 shots through one of these guys, and then they work superb. So putting that in. Ding. Oh, that'll sound awesome for headphone users. So let's put that stuff aside over there. So what you're gonna need to do is flip this guy upside down and drop out the stock nub sort of thing. As you can see, rounded on the edge, but if you're using a sort of big contact patch, flat hop style bucking, or if you're, I don't know, you could R-hop it, I guess, too, you want something that's square. There you can see there. Put it against the whiteness that is my skin to show you. So, as you notice, it's probably easy to show you on the white one because they're both similar. But this is a 3D printed, I don't know, nylon plastic maybe, or ABS plastic. Off Shapeways. I can put that in the description too. So you can see on this side it has what's called the spring. It's actually plastic. And this side is the open rectangle. So what you're going to want to do is after you reassemble your barrel and whatnot, and you put that on, and then you put this guy on. So we got this guy, goes on like a standard nub, and you line up all the little notches. Put this guy on the bottom where the line and the notch in the nub over the notch. And this is the top of the barrel. And you line that up there. So we got that there. And let's put this back in the barrel. Barrel in the barrel. And it should go in there nice. There we go. So, long and narrow towards the top. Just kind of line that in there. There we go. So we're going to put this guy on because you need the barrel in there kind of to. Oops. Yeah. Whoops. All right. So throw these guys back on too. These little spacers. And this guy right here, barrel nut, and that, and just get it all sort of caught in there. Screw that down. We're just going to do it hand tight because I will tighten it later. Alright, the nub. It doesn't come like this, but for the video, to add contrast, there's a little line in there, molded in line, that I painted black for the video. So you can easily see it. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the spring plastic. I don't know, I did air quotes on that, but hey, you know, whatever, we'll go with it. So you're going to put that line with the spring side towards the right, the ejection port of the gun on sort of an angle. And that angle lines up with the angle that the hop-up screw goes in. It's sort of like a, almost like a 45-degree or something angle into the upper receiver here. It's like milled in. They milled this all as one piece. So you're going to line up that line with that. And what we're going to do on this, we're going to put a little bit of thick silicone grease on there, and I'm just using differential grease. But you want to put something, you know, silicone or something in there, because you don't want to you don't want to hurt the rubber, even though there's a good chance it'll never touch the rubber. But if it did, you know, you don't want to use a petroleum sort of grease in there. So put that on there because, you know, it lubricates that against that and all that other stuff, metal and plastic. So we're going to align that black line on the top, right there, with the spring side towards this. There's a little hole right there. It's a 45-degree angle, and we'll slide it in. Going to push that down. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but hopefully because it's white with the black line on it, you'll be able to see it. And you can see it right there. And I have a little screwdriver. I think I can... You can take a little screwdriver and you can kind of tweak the angle, but you want that lined up. Actually, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So, we're going to put this back in, the little hop-up adjuster spike. I've noticed on some of these guns that this is like thread locked in there really tight and you can't even turn it. So make sure you find the proper size Allen wrench. It probably came with the gun. Like I said, I don't have the box or other tools that this came with. But I found an Allen wrench that fits it perfectly because you don't want to strip that out, as that is bad. That's really bad. But some have just been like impossible to turn, and it took finding the right wrench and giving it a little some good torquing to get off. So I'll stick that in there. And adjusting this, you know, as with all airsoft guns, it's going to be a little trial and error, but you don't want to go too much. So I'm just going to go like this until, you know, I go outside or with the well, actually I could see with the chrono, but you know, I'm going to go outside and set that. So don't put it all the way in. So remember that the top here, that's not where you adjust it. I mean, it says it's in the manual, but you don't adjust it with that. You adjust it with this little guy right here. And as you can see in there, we have it's just like a 98 custom up in there. You know, let's show a little bit more. Is that showing that? That actually seemed pretty quick. So actually, maybe as I look at my camera and it says 14 minutes on that one segment alone. But you know, let's split both parts because it'll just make it easier to show. So we'll take both things out, both pins. And where's my hammer? Hammer's not around. Where the hell is that? Never mind. We'll just use a screwdriver. Alright. So I think this will just be easier way to show it by taking both pins out. So, is there tension on this? Yeah, there was. Alright. So. And voila. Okay. So we got the lower. That's it when you're putting in the, you can use CO2 in this, because this accepts 800 PSI, unlike a Polestar and SMP, which is, you know, much less pressure. You don't want to go over 120 PSI on a Polestar and SMP. This wants 800 PSI, so you can use CO2. They sell a CO2 mag that has the, gets pierced. It's a 12 gram, and there's a little adapter that goes and pierces the mag with a CO2 12 gram. He has it set up for high pressure air, which is more reliable as it is more consistent as opposed to CO2. You could run CO2 on a remote line as well if you wanted. You could run a tank off the bottom. They sell an ASA adapter just to have it go off the bottom like old school paintball style. You go all like, you know, VM68 and you know, Pro-Am, Tippmann Pro-Am looking, you know. Currently I don't think they have a, oh, you couldn't because it's, the buffer tube has a spring in it, like a real gun. So, I don't think you could do it air stock. Bummer. Alright, so, right here, sort of the main sort of valve body for transferring gas from the grip or the CO2 is right there. There's a little balance spring in there. This is the rate of fire adjuster. The way that this works, you know, let's take this out so I can show you that. But, let's see, that is a big Allen, probably 3/16. So let's take this guy out. Oh, I'm super coffee today. So it's probably loose. Let's kind of slide it up. Yep. So that screw, there's a little nut right there. You can just drop that guy out. Yep. There we go. Put him over there. And we'll pull this up and off. So there's an aluminum tube on this. And there's your screw. As we said, it was 3/16. And this is sort of the adapter that goes to where his QD is. So in here, a little O-ring put a little oil on there if you take this off and put it back on, just a little oil or grease so it maintains a good seal. That goes right on like that. And it goes there. So need a little grease on there just for a good seal. And oh, the grip. Did I mention the grip before? I don't think I have. It is not like a real steel, a GBBR, or an AEG grip. So I don't know of any, at the time of this filming, I don't know of any grips that fit on this other than the stock grip. So there you go. That's the grip. It is slim like a real steel grip, but you can't fit a real steel on there. It just attaches differently. All right. This guy here, I've noticed it's easier when it's on semi, but I think on safe it'll work too. You just kind of push it. And I'm gonna go like this. Just kind of push it out for your fire selector. A couple keyed in areas. And then you can push the trigger group just sort of up and out, which is, I think, oh, that's part of the body. I think you just kind of got to go underneath this here. Which I should know. I've replaced these because this is the second generation of the RT sort of engine in there. There it goes. And if you have a first generation trigger pack, Tippmann will send you a new one for free. And you know, hey, if you're watching this video, you can learn how to do it. So you know, to get to replace your trigger pack, you just do what I just did. So we'll kind of push this out. Come on. Come on up. There we go. And trigger pack right here. As you can see, not at all like a Wii or a gas, any other gas blowback or a Western Arm style gas blowback. Completely different. It actually uses the Tippmann response trigger technology to do full auto. So if you adjust your full auto to make it too high, it doesn't work on full auto. It does like a quick couple bursts and then doesn't friggin' work at all. So I don't know, it's weird. I saw some kid on Reddit modified his to just do like 26 rounds per second full auto, but it had no semi. Oh, is that a bug? So this is the new style one. The original ones had like different milling, I think, on the trigger and probably other internal differences. But here's your sear right here. So the bolt goes back, catches on that, then you pull the trigger, pulls it down. And a couple other things too that are gonna happen. But this is the selector right here. So depending on where that is, that decides the full, safe, and semi through that little thing there. And yeah, little RT engine. So how the full auto works, it actually bounces back against the trigger. So as you have that back, it's kind of bouncing this little piston out of there, and it's just like the response trigger on a 98 Custom, which is kind of neat. So let's put that aside. You can look at the inside of this guy. That's completely ATF compliant. There's no cross-drilled screws, and there's a whole bunch of metal where there shouldn't be metal and all that other stuff. This is the thing you take out if you're going to use a CO2 magazine. But like I said, he has it set up for gas, so he's got the line going in there. You can see that silver line. It's an aluminum air line. That's that right there. Buffer spring. There's a heavy bolt mod that I know is coming out, so we'll see when that comes out. And the buffer tube screws into the back of the gun, and use the castle nut to tighten the buffer tube down. So it's possible to get it misaligned, and it's also possible to have it loose, and then you got to tighten this. And I recommend like a nice Tapco, $30 frickin' AR tool. It's got a bottle opener. I mean, come on, it's got all you need. It says beer, so it's like $30. It's tough as nails. Get one of those, and don't deal with these frickin' little crappy airsoft ones. But it happened to fit that one bolt on the one thing on the Lova. But hey, whatever. So that's that. Lower. So we got here. It's just like almost like a scaled down version of the 98 Custom, where it's got the main bolt in the back and this little nozzle, or I forget what they even call it, that like slides forward to complete the the ear seal up against there. You know, the bolt. It's just like a scaled down version of it. That's stuck in there. Yeah. Yeah. It's oh, that's the velocity adjuster right there. That screw. I think it's is that 5/64? Is that why the 5/64 is out? Yeah. But that's how you adjust your velocity. Being a gas gun, you can also change. Velocity will differ if you change the barrel length as well. So, varying barrel lengths will also adjust that. Changing the pressure, input pressure, can mess with that as well. But I know the input pressure on these, they want 800 is the recommended input pressure. So, you know, stick with 800. Tippmann knows best. So then you can see it's milled out. It's solid in there, and they just milled what they needed. So. Different than a regular GBBR. I think that's a retaining thing that holds this whole bolt and gas valve assembly in there. But yeah, so I guess that's the Tippmann M4 carbine. If you like this video or any other videos, feel free to subscribe, you know, like, dislike, comment, whatever. I don't respond to comments all the time. It's like once a month I'll go through there and respond to people. So if I don't get to you right away, I'm sorry. But hopefully other commenters I've noticed been responding to other people, so that's cool. And you can visit me here at Master Hobbies. We're at 565 Main Street in Cherry Valley, Massachusetts. And to go check out my friends at NAS-T, their website is right down there in the description. So yeah, have a good one. I hope you enjoyed looking at the Tippmann M4 carbine.